There you go.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay.
It's not showing up on my channel.
It's delayed.
That takes a few minutes sometimes to show up.
Okay, I was so worried. Okay, so it caught the last, like.
Go.
Okay, we're good. Hello.
Welcome to I liked it.
Welcome to our live stream. We are the lovely ladies.
Woo.
And today we're talking about To Have and to Hoax by Martha Waters, which was our
Avery, is yours the same color or is it purple? Is it just the way you're lighting in your room?
All of us have the same cover.
Mine is like intensely purple.
Mine's like pink, like pinkish purple.
No, mine's like a neon purple.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I wonder if it's a different edition.
I don't know, like in real life in the sun, this hurts my eyes.
Yeah, it was really bright. Mine's like magenta. I think that's the normal. I don't know. It's weird. I wonder if
Y'all's is like normal. Mine, you can see it in my, like, I have a Bookstagram post of it.
Yeah.
It's like intensely purple. That's my, I was so shocked by it.
Where'd you buy yours from?
I pre-ordered it from my local small bookshop.
I wonder if that's why. Like maybe if you pre-order it, you got like a slightly different one. Because I didn't pre-order. I just ordered it from Amazon.
Maybe. I got my, which is our local bookstore.
So it's a perfect floppy paperback. Can we just say?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Paperback. I don't like hardback very much. Like I like hardbacks. They're beautiful, but like reading them, I'm so happy that romance comes like exclusively in paperback. Makes me so
happy. Me too. And these, like, I love a mass market paperback too, but they're so hard to read. This is so much more complicated. Yeah.
If you're like me, I break spines for fun. So like crumbles in my hands. Also, we're all eating, so like
I just finished, so you're welcome.
I'm eating a cupcake. It's my dad's birthday tomorrow, so we got cupcakes.
Oh,
nice.
My dad's birthday's coming up too. His next week. My dad, June birthdays.
My dad shares a birthday with Bree from In Love and Words, so they're birthdays.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
My mom is coming up. June 29th. Because her name is June. So this is very easy to remember that the month of June.
Yeah. Everyone should do that. I'm just kidding. And make it so much easier to remember. No, it's like my parents' dog's birthday was the other day, so they made them her like cupcakes, and then it was like my Nana's birthday, and then it's my dad's birthday, and my dad's birthday is the day before Father's Day, and I just think it's the same, which is
I think shit, did we miss Father's Day?
Nah, it's next weekend.
Father's Day is a week after my dad's birthday. So like it's like mine are very close also.
It's hard because I love my dad, but I don't know if you guys agree. Guys in general, but dads are hard to buy for.
Oh yeah.
Then it's so right. So I'm like, man, the 2 days other than like Christmas maybe that you have to buy a gift are like right together.
Same for me. Actually, I have to go buy everything in like bulk. Like
for him. It's
a week difference. So I literally was shopping today and I was like, what do I buy him? Like I bought him a hat and some like fun candy and like I don't know what else to get him.
Well, and my dad's always on a diet, so I can't even get him food. Well, he'll eat it, but like he's one of those people that will eat like a couple and then like leave it for 45 days. So I don't know. Alas, we're on a tangent, so sorry, guys. But do you want to give a synopsis? Anybody? Or I can do it.
Shut my mouth.
All right. So in To Have and to Hoax, it's a historical romance, number 1, which I think is this our first one that we've done?
Our last book was
our last book was, right?
Yeah.
That's right, 2 in a row. Wow, we're old here. So in this book, it's about Violet and James, right? And they.
I do not remember.
These are the only 2 names I will remember because I love the name James, and I know like 4 Jameses. So I'm like, that's one.
It's a good name. It's a good solid name, and Violet's pretty. So in the book, they kind of meet and have like a bit of they fall in love basically when they're really young and get married, and then something happens. They get in a big fight, a big to-do, and they basically have been on the outs for like 4 years when the book starts, other than like the first part. and you don't really know what it is, but they're living together, but there's like a giant wall, like emotionally and somewhat physically between them. So in the book, they're trying to kind of get each other back. I think obviously they both, spoiler, they will still have feelings for each other.
God,
So,
yeah.
I think it's like this battle of wills of like who's gonna crack first and admit they were wrong, you know. So that's kind of the synopsis of the book. That's what I knew going in. So
yeah. We didn't do our like intro thing where we do like the highs and lows and.
Oh yeah, we can do it now.
We're a mess.
I know, it's okay.
We always forget that though. We'll be like halfway in and be like, "Oh, we forgot."
Yeah. What about you guys? Do you have any highs or lows for this month?
No.
Not really. It's been like just really stagnant because of everything going on in the world, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not shitty, but it's not great. I have pizza. That's my high.
Well, that's not for anybody. I mean, food is a high. I bought ice cream. That's great.
I got a cupcake. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I've been out of work for a couple weeks. Like, I'm good. I'm not like fired. I'm on summer break. I work in elementary school, so that's good because I've had some spare time.
Oh, my dog. I'm sorry.
Okay. Hi, baby. That's a high. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of been because I was at home so much before summer break this year. It didn't quite have the zest that it normally does of like sitting on a couch for a week because I had already been doing that. So I don't know, but I'm gonna go to Florida to my parents in a little bit. So that'll be fun. They have a pool, so we'll float for a while. So
that's the best part of Florida. Just pool.
Yeah, they don't live at the beach or anything, but they're close-ish. So probably try and make it down there too at some point while staying socially distant. So
yeah, because aren't those beaches in Florida just like packed?
Yeah, well, and a friend has been to one, and she said I think it's not too bad in certain areas. You kind of know like where to go and where not to go.
Yeah.
Too. Like there's certain areas, but yeah, that's kind of the reason I prefer the pool because you can be away from people because I am like it's at their house, so I don't have to like go.
Yeah.
My apartment has a pool too, but there's a lot of people squished together.
Same.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you guys currently reading?
Ooh.
A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Ooh.
I'm on chapter like 3.
Nice.
It's going so slow. I just feel no motivation to pick it up, which is sad.
That happens, so.
God, same. I want to read so many things, which is very, very evident if you look at how many books I'm currently reading on Goodreads. Over 10 at this point. But just like I don't have the will to actually sit and read. Like Friday or Thursday? Thursday night, my parents left to go camping up at a local beach here, and they're gone all weekend. So I'm here, and I have a new chair which I'm sitting in. It is huge. It is a basket chair. Can't really see it, but like I have not left it in the 3 days that they've been gone. Up till 2 in the morning, just watching YouTube, which is such
amazing.
Yeah, I feel ya. My sleep schedule's been a little off.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I'm like a morning person typically. I know that's weird, but like typically I'm someone who like gets up and like goes, and I've been staying up way too late. It's been like 1 or 2, and like that's abnormal for me. So I don't know, but I'm reading 2 things. So I'm reading Crave. This one.
I bought that today. It's sitting right there.
Yeah, by Tracy Wolf.
Yeah.
And so I'm really enjoying it, but it's kind of something you guys were saying. Like, I don't know if it's just because it's a physical book rather than my Kindle, but I'm having just a hard time like getting through it. It's not that it's bad. Like, I'm totally enjoying it, but like I'll read a chapter or 2, put it down, and then I'll pick it up again. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm like sitting there like. I think I've been reading it for like over a week, maybe 2. And I just want to like get through it. I'm like halfway done. It's really nostalgic of like, like our good old like Twilight-y type stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like Twilight because I feel bad saying that, but this is not. Huh?
Isn't it though?
I mean,
very
yeah, it's got that whole like it's at a boarding school in Alaska. She goes there. There's like a whole mystery of like what's going on, and clearly there's a paranormal element that's about to be revealed. And it's got like the bad boy and like the girl, and her parents have just passed away, and so it's got a lot of those like kind of almost like tropes you see over and over again. But it is really good. I mean, I think it's a good like start to a series, and I feel like vampires are back, people. So
they're trying.
Is it like? I was confused. Is it YA?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's YA. Now I have heard it's a little steamy, but like I haven't got to that part yet. There hasn't really been. It's very like angsty, like. But I definitely think it's YA. I don't think it's adult because they're teenagers. They're like
okay.
He's like 17.
I always wish Twilight was steamier, even when
oh yeah.
What I
black
is because it's like I haven't read Twilight in so long, and I don't think I ever will again because I don't like it. But watching an Irish Reader, Kevin.
Oh no, I know who you're talking about. Kevin from An Irish Reader. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, is his name Kevin? Am I gonna? Yeah. When he was reading them for the first time and going through it, like the one thing that bugged me so much about Twilight is that anytime there's a little bit of action, Bella like faints or something, so you don't see it.
Or Edward's all like, no, we have to be proper until we get married. Which I'm not saying is wrong. I'm just saying
he also like didn't want to break her, which makes sense. But
I mean, it makes sense. But yeah, so it's kind of got that nostalgic feel. I'll report back once I finish. But Avery, also let me know if you pick it up, what you think too.
It's not gonna take a while because I have that secret video I told both y'all.
I'm excited for that one. And then I'm reading this one, which I think Avery, you're the one who actually heard from it first. Is it Rebecca Weatherspoon? Is it Rafe? Rafi? How do you say that?
Rafe. Yeah, the audiobooks is Rafe. Yeah.
Okay.
Such a good book.
Yeah, like I only like 3 chapters in because I just started it this morning, and it's so good already. Like I'm already like wanting to sit here and read it. I just haven't had a chance today, but it's so good. So it's like I mean it's called like it's like a male nanny, but I feel like it's going to be a lot more than that. So
the reason why I like it so much is because it's so much more different than romances I've read before, where in a lot of nanny romances or just romances in general, there's like all the pining and they don't tell the other person that they have feelings for each other. And like they're both like 5 minutes in, like, okay, I'm really attracted to you. What are we gonna do about this?
Right.
You know,
and like only a couple chapters in, and like Sloane, who's the heroine, I already like love her. I mean, she's like kick-ass doctor. She's got twins. Like
they're so cute. They're so cute.
Yeah, so I'm so excited. I think I've seen you and a couple other people recommend it. So I'm like, okay, I need to like read this. And then I really want to read the next one because I wanted to read this one first.
Yeah.
So,
the next one is Jenny.
Yeah. Did you read that one?
I haven't read that one yet though. Yeah. Because I listened to Rafe off of, I had an Audible credit, and so I listened to it with my Audible credit.
Yeah, I bought the ebook just because it wasn't on an Audible Escape. So
yeah.
Sadly. But I don't mind, getting the book. It wasn't that much. So yep, that's what we're reading.
Yeah. I'm currently actively in the middle of 4 books.
Goodness, Jen.
I don't know if that's great.
Shelf because apparently I just read stuff and then put it down. But I'm actively reading both the 5th season and A Song of Race and Ruin, and Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and Mansfield Park by Jane Austen.
I need to read so many of those you just said. I need to read the 5th season, and I read Mansfield Park.
Is that the M.K. Jemisin series?
This is
5th season. Yeah, my brother read those and really loved them. He loves like fantasy stuff. So.
Have raved about it.
Yeah, he was trying to get me to read them. I'm not. I might. I just sometimes it's so daunting.
Yeah,
they're so large. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
But
I just like. I went to McNally the other day, another bookstore we have up here, and I bought yesterday, and I bought Brandon Sanderson's Words of Radiance, which is over 1,000 pages.
Oh my gosh, it's the one that's like that big.
It's a brick. It is a shiny brick, and I love it. I'm very excited to read that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, 4 books.
I'm also reading, I just started today, a Kindle book. It's called The Midwinter Mail Order Bride.
Oh dear.
Oh, I saw a bunch of people reading that one. I think I actually have it on my Kindle because I bought it when I saw someone else.
Look at this cover, though.
Yeah, that's why I bought it.
That's wild.
But I heard
it's a fantasy romance.
Mara, I saw talking about it from books like Whoa. Did you guys follow her?
I saw mine out. I saw it first off of Riley Marie. I got my recommendation.
A lot of people were. Well, I'm excited to see what you think about it because I heard it actually was pretty darn good, even though the cover's a little.
Yeah, the cover on Goodreads is even worse.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it on there. Hold on.
Well, it's not pretty. At least the one that I just showed you is like has a couple on it, you know? The other one's just like someone edited it themselves, you know what I mean? Like it looked like the author like made it herself, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like
Stop in about 5 minutes type of bad.
Yeah.
All right. First thoughts. Ratings.
Woo.
Did we all rate it 3.5 stars?
I rated it 3.
I gave it 4 technically, but in my head it's 3.5. So yes.
Okay.
I just give books that I think are okay 3 stars. Like it was okay, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad to me. It was just like down the middle.
I'm trying to be better with my rating systems because I've just been wildly handing out 5 stars in the past.
Yeah.
That don't deserve them. So
see, I haven't given a book 5 stars in so long. Like I have 0 5 stars in May. Like they're all good. Like I had so much fun. Just none of them were like boom, like amazing, you know.
I had a bunch of 4 in a row, like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, which for me is like it was good, but it wasn't like next level. But the Kennedy Ryan books I read, I gave 5 stars. The Kingmaker.
I want to read that one too.
Yeah, those were great. Like I could not stop. Like I stayed up till like 2 in the morning reading those, which to me is like a check on the like 5-star list. Like if it keeps you up to like the middle of the night, then you know it's like worth it. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I mean, it was a really cute book. I would say I think it's a pretty good place to start, maybe with historical if you don't want like super steamy scenes. I mean, there were some, but it wasn't to me. I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was as.
There was a few really good kissing scenes.
Yeah.
And then
like, notes how many kissing scenes there were.
1 or 2 steamier scenes, but like one like big one and then one like
okay, so I only have 6 either kiss. It's either I only tab like I tab kissing or like steamy scenes. So there's only like 6 things that I tabbed. Yeah. So those are either kissing or steamy.
I mean, there definitely are like steamier scenes. Like I think that's why to me it definitely reads as an adult, not like a YA book.
Yeah.
But I would say like if you're kind of on the fence and you want to try out, I would say to me I think it wouldn't be a bad place to start. To kind of get the feel of historical too, to like see the settings and some of the tropes that come in, stuff like that. So
live in the world of Jane Austen, but don't want to read Jane Austen.
Exactly, and have a little bit more steam than Jane Austen. Because
we always read. I actually, because I just wanted to get through this fast in a way that I was just like, I just want to consume a book really fast. So I listened to the audiobook, and the girl narrating Violet's is amazing. And then as soon as we got to James, I was like, I want to throw this audiobook out the freaking window. He sounds like the world's worst pompous asshole, and I cannot. It's so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so I struggled through that, but the girl was really good. And I gotta say, my favorite part in this entire book is the prologue.
Yeah, very cute.
See,
so good.
What happens? I remember nothing from this book, so I don't even know what happens in the prologue.
That's when they meet, and it's like the balcony.
Whoa! Yeah,
it's
super.
cute.
That was my favorite part too.
instant chemistry
Yeah.
off the chart. I was reading that and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so fucking good.
So well too, that part. Like instantly like drew to me, that part like really drew you in. I saw someone else's review and I think it was on Goodreads, but I was seeing and they said it was really like they loved the characters in this book. Like that was the strong point. And I agree. Like the plot, I mean, it's not super, super original to me. Like it is, but it's, I don't know, it wasn't like my favorite thing, but the characters like Violet and James and then their friends. Like I really love the guys. I liked the girls. I thought it was all really the characters were really like
I just
left me wanting
reading this and saying we could have like 3 more books from this cast of characters. Get, like,
or more.
Have a character, but you don't get enough of their full story. You're like, you're planning on writing a book about this one, aren't you? Like, tell.
Where do you see the pairings?
Yeah.
The person I don't see a pair with is like
the single one.
His like her best friend's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want him and like friend who's single to get together. I know, like
I thought she was gonna get with like the dude
from
the theater.
His name. But yeah. I don't know. But,
I think the one that was like the quiet one who was spoilers. If no one wants to be spoiled, leave now. That's my warning, just in case. But if anyone's watching this back, just know we're about to maybe talk about some spoilers. So just maybe skip ahead. But I think that I got the vibe that the guy from the theater was going to go with the girl who was kind of quiet, who is dating the horrible man due to her parents' situation. Yeah, that's the book I'm like, I want to read.
Yeah.
I actually really like the idea that this book has because it's you have like an already made relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I gotta say.
1 second, I think my dog's getting into something. Willow!
It's like, Avery, I'm gonna start fucking shit up. It's fine.
Well, she's not coming, so 1 second.
You're good.
She's a good girl. What's she doing?
She listen.
Here, lay down in your bed.
But yeah, I agree, Jen. I mean, it was unique in the fact that there's not many where the couple's like already together.
Yeah, and I think like the premise was there, and it started out really funny, and I was yes, this is amazing. I am ready for some shenanigans. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
And by like the 70% mark or a little bit before, I was like, you guys are just being childs. Like, you're just children. What the fuck are you doing? And like all of their friends are like, just talk to each other. And they're like, damn friends. This brought in like a twist on my favorite trope, which is hate to love, because like they fell out. So there's kind of a hate to love here, even though there's like hella passion in it.
Yeah.
And they mixed it with my least favorite trope, which is lack of communication. And I'm just like, God damn, like that like scandal of theirs. I was so mad that it wasn't bigger. I was like, I'm waiting for like an like illegitimate child to start fucking shit up. Like,
I completely agree.
That was my issue with the book, is that the characters were children by the end of it, and there wasn't a bigger scandal. Again, but it's just based off of lack of communication, and I kind of hate that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I was totally like you. I was in it, like at the beginning. I'm like, this is great. I also kept reading, like before I read the book, all the like, blurbs kept saying how funny it was and that it was like going to be hilarious. Like you said, like those shenanigans and like all this. And I'm thinking it was going to be like laugh out loud funny. Like when I read a Tessa Dare book, a lot of times I'm like laughing hysterically. And I just think this one didn't do that for the whole book.
Yeah, the beginning was incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
and there were a couple funny moments, but I can see how people thought it was funny. I just don't think it was like as funny as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I didn't really find it all that funny.
As soon as he was fine with his illness, like I wanted it to be more dramatic with the fact that it was not his illness, his almost being on death's door. And then her having the illness But the fact that he knew about it so soon, I was like, oh, come on. That like took the funniness out of it a little bit. And then I was expecting there to be more stuff that piled up on top of that, like trying to get back at each other, but they just kept dragging out those same two. I was like, oh.
Yeah. See, I thought there was gonna be like I think you just said multiple funny, like multiple
like pranks that they pull on each other.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay, I know you're not sick. Let me try this other one, like where I like, I don't know, did something silly, like whatever.
Romance book that has this exact premise but is modern.
Oh, really?
And it's like, except they're not quite married yet. They're like fiancés.
Oh, the Sarah Hogel one?
I think so. But that one, it's prank after prank, I think.
Okay.
So
see, that's what I kind of wanted from this, and like I agree, like, it just dragged out too long. Like I think it would have been more successful in my mind if they had gone maybe like halfway, like maybe 50% through the book, and then they said, okay, we clearly like enough's enough, and then had some other kind of problem, like
yes,
you know what I mean?
Illegitimate child. You want to romance because you're dealing with men in a like era that think they own everything, even though James is an incredible human being and like not part of his time at all. But like you deal with men just like his friend. I think his name was Jeremy. I'm not sure.
Oh, Jeremy was the one who was like with her at first.
Yes, I want to read his book.
Yeah,
him and the other one who was gonna set him up in like 100 days and have him married or something.
Yeah, Jeremy needs to come to Jesus moment.
A goddamn book because it's going to be so good because he's a rake, but like you have figures like that who think they can fuck anything that moves and ruin girls' lives without a second thought.
Yeah.
And then there's illegitimate children everywhere because that's what it was back then. And like, there was no condoms.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say I was kind of glad though that in this case that the main couple in this book, Violet and James, didn't have any kind of like affairs while they were like apart. They were still married.
I find that so hard to believe though. Like he hated her. Like
I get it, but he still loved her. That's the thing.
Like I don't understand him. 4 years, no goddamn way.
Like a romance novel, Jen.
Like there was that one line that he said that after he had been with Violet, he like didn't even think about sex with another person. I was like, okay, that's kind of cute, but like that would never happen. Like,
it's probably unrealistic, but in my mind, I would have had a harder time wanting them back together unless, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I think that would have been harder for me to buy.
Yeah. In all honesty, I also don't think that it should have been like 4 years. Like 4 years?
Yeah, maybe 2.
I think
that's too long. Like that's way too long for me.
But I think she did that purposefully because they were so young when they got married. Like Violet was 18, he was 22, which is so rare for a man to get married that young, right?
Yeah.
At this time.
Usually at least like 25, 30.
Yeah. So I think she waited until Violet was over the age of 25 because then it's like, okay, they've lived for a while. They should be adults now. They're not. They're children still, but like it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think I get her point, but I also agree. Like in my head, I was like, I don't think I could just let something like that go on for 4 freaking years.
Yeah. Like, throw ass down. We're talking about this right now.
Yeah, I'd be like, do I have to like force you to not force you, but do I have to like make you sit down and like, bribe you with something so you'll sit here and listen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. This book is just not memorable to me. It took I didn't feel like picking it up ever. There was at one point, like last weekend I finished it. I woke up and was like, I want to get this book over with so I'll have it done. I don't think about it anymore. Like I just wasn't interested. Like everything, like I kept like just like skimming pages. I was like, I know what's gonna happen, and y'all are just talking in circles, and like it's like I'm bored.
Yeah. I feel like if you want a quick summer read, I don't think it was like
it was readable.
Like I think it was fine. It just like you said, it wasn't super memorable, and it wasn't like I've read a lot other historical romances that were like way more impactful, kind of, you know, and like you still think about or like want to reread. Like I don't necessarily think I'll reread this.
Yeah, no.
So
usually reread.
Yeah.
I think the only one I would reread would be The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren.
Yeah. I reread a lot.
I reread like 50% of the books I read last month. So
yeah, I like rereading stuff, but I usually do like waiting like at least a year or so after I read it, just because otherwise I think it's too fresh in my mind. But yeah, I'm a big rereader.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I'll get like the ebook or something. I'll reread it like a different way. But
I'll like to, if I'm in the mood, I'll be like, I'm in the mood to reread this book and listen to the audiobook if I can. Just that.
Yeah.
Because I think last year my favorite book was like Wait for You by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and then my second favorite was like Royally Matched by Emma Chase. And I listened to those books like 3 times that year.
Yeah. Yep. So I think we're all in agreement on this one, which is kind of saying something as well.
Yeah.
I'm
so disappointed. Like this is one of my like most anticipated books of the whole year. Yeah. Like I just wanted more, and it's just like the pranks that they pulled on each other. I was like, that's not even like a prank, like you know?
Yeah.
They were like
chance to act out because he saw the goddamn doctor.
Yeah. I almost felt like if they were gonna be childish by talking in circles, I wanted to see like really childish pranks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if we're gonna go down this road of like acting like we're 14, at least give me like something really silly that I can like crack up about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me a carriage chase.
Yeah.
Just the most cliche bullshit you remember from like the old Jane Austen movies that are terrible adaptations, like carriage chase, carriage crash, fucking I don't know.
I know.
On the road, give me something nuts. Like
Love it.
This is the kind of book you could go ham with. Just like
exactly. I know. That's kind of, and I mean, again, this is Martha Waters' like debut book. So having said all that, like it's still very impressive to me that she wrote this, and that also like, you know, I don't know. I thought it was a lot of promise. I thought the characters were written really well, and I am intrigued. I probably will pick up the next couple because I want to see what happens to them.
Yeah.
So.
I am interested in the other couples. I will say about the other characters, a lot of them talked and acted like the same way a little bit. Besides like Emily like really stood out like a sore thumb, but like the boys, like his friends, I was like, they act the same to me. Like who's who, you know? I just got like,
although by the end of it though, I just Goodreads, there's no book that she's announced or anything. So there's nothing that's coming up. But I'm sure there will be soon because this was this year, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if they wanted to see how this one did first.
Yeah.
Whoever she publishes with, who's this with?
I know that Jeremy was more rakish, like he was just the asshole who never wanted to get married. And the other one, I feel like his name is Nicholas, but I could be wrong.
I think it was. Because didn't they call him by his like title? That's why I can never remember.
I'm not sure. He had a different flavor than Jeremy. I think her characters are very strong. Even her background character.
Yeah, I like the girls a lot too. Like, I mean, the boys I liked, but I thought the girls were intriguing. Yeah. You know, there's the one who was super outspoken and like.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Hey.
Oh, I like the fact that everybody else in this book had a head on their shoulders, so I want to see their stories because I want to see these rational people in love with other people.
The book that I am intrigued by is James's brother and that one. I want to read that one.
I don't want to see their story. I want to see their story now with him. He's like broken or whatever.
That one has a lot of baggage. I'm willing to take that on.
I love the romance with the baggage. Give me the baggage. That's what I love for this book. When like the baggage was like revealed, I was like, oh.
You have no baggage. You were 18 when you
were like, you just brought one suitcase. I wanted a whole trunk full.
Mother being an asshole, which like but there was that one scene where they were still, it was right after the part where James tried to like pretend he was seducing his brother's girl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then they met at a ball after Violet went to go see her and be like, can you please amp this up? That was kind of cool. I liked that because like he didn't see it coming and he was so uncomfortable. Perfect.
Yeah, I did like the fact that the girls too were like very honest with each other and they weren't catty. She's like, "Oh, okay, I know exactly what's going on here. Like, you want me to help you? Sure." Like, I did like that, you know.
Yes. That scene where they walked around the ballroom to get lemonade and then walked back around, and like he had her in an alcove, like pressed up against her. I was like, "Are they about to have like sex in the middle of a ballroom? What's happening?" Like, yeah. Oh, and then her mom came in and interrupted it. Like, fuck her mom. Honestly.
Darn.
Her mom. Her mom.
Alcove. You know it's like gonna be some kind of spicy scene. Yeah. There were definitely moments of like great, like if that kind of scene had been like a little more often, I think it would have been closer to like a 4 or 4.5 for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
I don't know why, but for me, I don't like the mystery aspect or like the not knowing part. So when they were like alluding to like the reason why they weren't talking, I was like, can we just like get to it? Because like I'm not knowing it.
I think you have to like sprinkle it through to like bring a little bit of intrigue so you have a reason to keep going, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Speaking of, how do we feel about this big reveal that their parents set them up, basically?
I think he's just a big, I don't. His obviously his like ego was like crushed. I think it was just like, oh, and like
the whole book could have been solved if these two people were not so prideful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if both of them had been willing to come to the conclusion of that, it could have been solved in like 10 minutes. I mean, I could see how that would be a fight. Like, I could see how that would be a fight. But I think it's a fight that if you were married or even serious with somebody, I think it would have been easy to fix. Like, I think that would have been like, maybe I'm mad at you for like a week type of problem, not like
you would have followed me out of that fucking ballroom. Like, what the shit? Did you know about this? And then I would be like, no, I didn't know about this. Except 2 days ago, my mom told me. I'm as shocked as you.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, I agree. Or if nothing else, like you would have been mad for a while, and then one of those days when you're sitting across from me at tea, you would have blown up and been like, you know, like who sits across from someone who they love for 4 years?
That was my thing. 4?
Like, I just felt like for 4 years, I get why she did it with the ages, but it needed to be a bigger,
issue.
Like a bigger issue. Because like, it was revealed, and I was like, that's it. You've been talking about 4 years because your ego is bruised, dude. Like,
your mom and dad decided one day we should get our kids married and like created a scandal.
I mean, honestly, too, that wasn't even that rare, I'm sure. Like back then.
Yeah.
That
like up with someone, not rare at all. But the fact that like I find it interesting that they chose to make a scandal out of it, because what if they hadn't fallen in love and her reputation was goddamn ruined because of it?
Unhappily married. They just would have forced them to be married, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Although then I started thinking, I'm like, what could it have been? Like,
I found that weirdly. I found it interesting that it also, I don't think she did a good job of bringing in the daddy issues for James throughout the book.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of came up at the end. I was like, oh, like we didn't really see him with daddy issues. It was mentioned at the beginning with the stables, but like he didn't have any interaction with his father throughout the entire thing. And I was like, oh, he has daddy issues? We didn't know this. Like, like we knew she had mommy issues. Anything from James. It could. There's more you could have done if you wanted to stick with this plot line.
Yeah.
End issue. Like you could have made it a bombshell to drop in the middle of the book, And then another bombshell at the 75% mark when you think that these people are like have fixed their issues.
Yeah. The other two dropping.
Drop another bombshell. I don't know.
I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to see.
Just wanted like, a child.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Cause like I do think it needed to be bigger. Or like you said, Jen, there needs to be two. Like that could have been one, but then there needs to be another. But honestly, I'm not like a writer, so I don't know. But I was sitting here thinking like what could have been something that would keep me from talking to my husband for 4 years. And I honestly don't know what I would have done.
Unless he like
not much
on me. If he cheated on me, I'd be like, you.
But then that's going to be really hard to redeem your hero from. So I don't know if I'd go that way.
It's like a scandal to where it seems like he was cheating, but he actually wasn't.
I think if this is an interesting take. If Martha had, sorry, the name Martha cracks me up because like last summer there was a moth in my bedroom at like 2 a.m. and I panicked because it was a big goddamn moth and I couldn't find it to kill it. So I went upstairs to sleep in the spare bedroom, and the next day my mom had written a note, and because I had written a note for them, I'm like, I'm in the spare bedroom, don't panic. Like I didn't leave in the middle of the night. And my mom and my dad both named the moth Martha. So it like, oh, Martha, the moth is gonna get you, and I was like, God damn it! Like it was 2 a.m. Anyway, if Martha had taken James and made him more of a figure, whoever that goddamn guy was from the previous one, Thane. Was his name Thane?
Thane, yeah. Nathaniel.
I think it would have been interesting if the big issue fallout, because if I'm thinking about this time period, what's a big enough issue to make two people not talk to each other for 4 years? Because funnily enough, time slips by really fast, and like if you are in a big enough argument, it could be 2 years before you really realize it. But I think if it had been a big enough scandal that was like public enough, and had made James, for example, like a complete public outcast, and he had to go live in the other house, and they just never saw each other for 4 years. Makes more sense. That's what I thought this book was. They had been hurt for 4 years. I
did too.
That's what I thought too.
If you make him more of an asshole, if you make him a little bit more gritty, and like if you give him that underlying layer of this scandal that just wrecked his life, and he was in it and like painted himself in it, and he's just like, I am ruined forever, I cannot live, like Thane did, I think it would have been an interesting story. This one was too clean. It was too clean.
I agree. Because James was too good of a guy. And like I did like that he was a good guy and not a horrible person, because there are so many books out there. If you want to read one, you can find one that has like a really rakish, like, asshole. But I agree with you. Like it would have been more dynamic if he had been that way. Because James was such a good guy. I just don't see how Violet could not like talk to him / forgive him, especially in the same house. I mean, yes, he went away, but like your bedrooms are attached and you're like passionately in love. I just don't see it happening.
No, it wasn't enough separation. I think if he'd actually been living in his country house instead of his normal house, would have made a little bit more sense.
I think my cat is locked in a room. Sorry, I'll be right
back. My cat's like pacing around the table right now, meowing. So
what are you doing, man?
She just jumped up here. Get down. Come on. Okay, go over there.
I want to be part of the show.
Whew. When I was doing my like digital learning for school, like this was a constant battle.
Locked in my parents' room, banging on the door.
When James left, my cat just jumped up here.
Let me out.
Hi.
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 When animals stare directly at a screen, because Bella doesn't understand what a screen is.
Okay, bye.
Screen is. And she'll look at a TV screen if there's an animal on it. But like, if I'm talking to somebody, she'll just like.
Yeah. Whenever I tried FaceTime, when I lived in my like college town at my apartment, my parents would FaceTime me all the time, and I tried to get the dog's attention and be like, what's going on?
They always look at you like you're like trapped in a box or something. Like, how do we get you out of there?
Yeah.
My cat Dinah will she will look at the TV if it's like if something on the screen is moving, like in a pattern. Like, what was I watching the other day? And it was something, and she was staring at it for a good 10 minutes. It was really funny.
I've seen TikToks where there's a cat. It's either a dog or a cat. I don't remember, but the owner like puts on the movie and they're obsessed with Frozen, and they'll like stand and sit there and just like watch Frozen.
That's so sweet. I love animals. I don't deserve them.
They are. I don't know what yeah.
So what are we talking about before the cat?
I don't even know at any point. Like,
I think we're just concluding that the drama needed to be bigger, and it wasn't big enough. The guy wasn't bad enough for it to be 4 years. He was close enough for it to not be 4 years. Like, that's
I think it was more. I think she was trying to play up.
Also,
they were basically kids. Because, like, I get, like, that kind of a drama, if you're, like, 13, 14, that's enough to wreck a life. Like, because you're 14 and the world revolves around you and you don't have any communication skills at that point. But when you're 23 and you're married, you're an adult. You should be able to instead of getting hurt that your daddy intervened in your life. Like,
I agree with y'all with the them living like apart. I wish that's what I assumed. Like by that summary, it was like, oh, he rushes to his side because she hears that he's injured or whatever. So like, oh, they obviously live apart. And then when he started to like travel back,
20.
Yeah, when he starts to like travel back to his house, I was like, wait, what? Like, they live in the same house?
Yeah. I agree. I read one time. I don't remember what book it was, but like they lived the same sort of thing. They had married. This was more of like a just marriage for convenience, and they lived apart and then fell in love. But they lived like, I think they lived in a different country. Like he went and lived in like, or he was in the military or something. Kind of. Who's like trying to flip? I have these like decorative plates on the table, and she's trying to like flip them. Anyways, I feel like that was more believable. Like they got married, they had a fight, he went in the military, and he was gone for like 2 or 3 years because of that.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
Like, tears you apart, makes it worse. That drama coming back together after those 2 years, holy shit!
Right,
would be good.
Right. Yeah. Well, in the book I'm thinking of, I didn't actually end up loving that much because of something he did while they were apart that I don't think he groveled enough for. It's The Ugly Duchess by Louisa James.
Did he cheat on her? Did he cheat on her?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering right, it was a marriage of convenience, but like I think he went and left, and then like he became like a pirate or something. I could be remembering wrong. He's in the military or pirate. He's gone for a long time on the boat. That's all I know. I don't remember how he got on the boat. It's just that he was gone. But he did a lot of like not good things while he was gone, and I just felt like when he came back, he didn't have enough like what do you call it, like he didn't have enough like, oh crap, I really messed up. You know what I mean? He's kind of like, well, I'm back.
Love if there's
And I love Louisa James. I love her book. She has some really great ones. That one just for me did not work because of that.
Yeah. If there's ever cheating in a book, I want that man, if it is the man who's cheated, to get on his knees like Ross from fucking Friends, beg for his shit back.
We were on a break.
Yeah, I agree. There has to be a lot of grovel.
His mistake is he was really fucking drunk too, though. Like, I think Rachel was too hard on him. After all, right at the beginning, she was totally valid, and by the end of it, I was like, "Hey, Rachel, like, give it up." Like, he was it was a one night thing. He loves you to pieces. Yeah, your trust is broken, but like, you can build that back up again. Stop being a crazy bitch. But like, it's TV.
I love Friends though. Such a good show.
Oh,
Yeah.
The thing that I found not believable about this book though is that he didn't even think about cheating on her. And I get why Martha Waters like didn't let him cheat on someone, but like that was realistic. Like it's been 4 years. You have just accepted the fact that you won't be with another woman ever because you don't want to be with Violet, but then you don't want to be with anyone else. Like
Nobody's gonna be good enough.
like
I agree. That's why they just should have made it less time. You know what I mean?
yeah, he's like
Oh my god.
he's in 20 still, and he's just like, yeah, I don't want to be with anyone else. Like, you have a dick, dude. You're a man.
Like, we're all human. I get it. And yeah, your hand is only so good, my dude, but like
I do feel like that's why partly she did make him such a good person though. Like I feel like that's why she kind of made him like the good guy, because she wanted you to believe that he wouldn't cheat.
I wish that it had been a shorter time frame.
Yeah.
And I wish that they had, because shorter time frame also means like it's a little bit fresher of an injury, but also that sexual tension though. Imagine shorter time frame, they're in the same goddamn house and they don't even talk to each other, first of all. They do in the book, but like imagine they don't talk to each other. Like in any circumstance at all. And then like just the amount of like sexual tension from like just the hand touches getting into carriages or some craziness like Pride and Prejudice 2005. I wanted like midpoint of the book to just be like them one night just like fuck it and have like an explode, like just like that needs to break somehow. And it almost happens a few times when they're together, like with kissing scenes before. But I'm like, here's the thing. It's been 4 goddamn years.
See, I feel like almost like I get why she made them 18 and they were very much like idealistic in love, but I almost feel like she just made them 2022 and then done like a year later, you know, like that. It would have solved a lot of this. And like, look, I'm not a writer, but I feel like that's something you'd think someone would have suggested like in the process.
Be like, this is great process, but like we got to workshop this a little.
Right. Like it's a great idea.
To make it a little bit more feasible and realistic. And so can we have an explosive sex scene before they even get to talk? Because that would break the tension perfectly.
Right.
But also like, the after scene, because they haven't had like any chance to talk, they still hate each other.
It's been so awkward.
Or awkward. Right? There are so many things that you can do with this.
Yeah.
I will
say,
this is what I commented on one of my vlogs. I was like, this is what I like when all of us like collectively like a book, sort of like we did with Meet Cute. We ripped it apart and made it better.
There's only like 5 of us could write a book together.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just list all our names on there.
Jen can be the writer and we just all stay.
Yeah. Jen just like contribute.
You write the perfect romance book.
Yeah, that would be good. All right, Jen, get on that.
Which I really do want to, because like I want to write in every genre pretty much, except for or sci-fi. But like, I'm like, yeah, if I ever write a romance book, you guys are gonna be my 2 like ghost writers.
Yes. I don't even have to pay.
I am the fantasy reader in this book club. We know this.
But I feel like you have really good perspective though, because we read so much. Like I read a lot of historical, so sometimes I get a little like jaded with it because I'm like, well,
you know what you like.
Yeah.
You know what you want to see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then Jen, you need to read like a good fantasy romance then.
I'm really curious to see what Jen would think of a fantasy romance.
Like Trick was like okay, but like that was not like a fantasy romance, you know.
That's true.
So I finished the one I was reading. What's it called? A Heart of Blood and Ashes.
Was it
really good?
Was
it really good?
So okay, I gave it 5 stars, but in hindsight, it might be more like 4.5 for me because I had a really hard time getting into it because I'm not a super big high fantasy reader. And to me, the first like not quite half, but like at least like quarter of the book was a lot of setup for like it's a new series. You got to set up, and I get that. You got to set up the world. You got to know what you're dealing with, who are the characters, like the players and stuff. Yeah. So to me, I saw a lot of people agree to like it was read like a high fantasy with a heck of a lot of romance. Like they were almost like equal, but I feel like going in thinking you're going to get either a fantasy or a romance, you're going to be disappointed because you got to know there's like 50-50 for me. But I know a lot of people like loved it. Gave it like, so I only took off some because I just really had a hard time. I just kept thinking like, are we going to get to the people being together now?
Like,
it threw in too much fantasy for you?
Almost like once the couple like met and like there was so much tension there because it's like for sure hates love and it's legitimate. Like her family did something to his family that's like real bad. So there's a lot of like miscommunication, but like it gets resolved pretty fast. It's just in the sense of like he thinks so. I would recommend that one. Just know it's pretty. You don't mind steam though, but it was pretty steamy. Like there was a couple scenes that I was like, wow, like I didn't usually get like that bad. But I was like, I think it's because it was in a fantasy setting that it almost threw me off. Like because I'm used to seeing that in like
that makes
contemporary or something, and so it doesn't like throw me off. But this one, I'm like, wow, like that was quite steamy in the furs there. So yeah, that might be a good one to try.
My issue is with fantasy romance. I haven't come across many of them, but if it's a fantasy romance, usually the world building is very surface level, and it's just there to set the romance in like a different world. It's not actually like a fantasy world. It's just odd with them fucking in a bed. Like that's it, right?
Well,
this is what people are.
I think that you need to read Radiance.
Yeah.
Because that one, the world building is actually pretty good.
That one was just really, really unique too.
Yeah.
Like
it's my favorite fantasy romance.
I haven't read anything like that book.
Yeah.
Like I would say read that one. I think that one I agree. That one was just so good. Like I love all of Grace Draven that I've read, but that's still my favorite.
Yeah. I still need to read Phoenix Unbound. But maybe we should read like a backlist of Grace Draven or something because Grace Draven just writes amazing fantasy romance.
Yeah, she does. We should read one to see like what we all think. I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, there are some great ones, and there's also some that are for sure heavier on the romance than the fantasy.
There's one book where I think like the world building is more than the. Yeah, this one is actually fantasy romance. It's not.
I like Outlander, and I was like, yeah.
I like that one.
This is the Winter King.
The same blue. That's funny.
The cover is so bad.
The cover is so bad. It does not reflect the story. Just like
it's such a good book, though. It's really good.
The world building is like I feel like Jen, you would really like that one because number one, it's like hate to love, and it's also an arranged marriage kind of thing. And there's both of them have like magical powers.
Yeah. That's one I kind of want to reread because I read that one a couple years ago, and so it's a little blurry. I just remember liking it a lot. My favorite is still A Promise of Fire.
I need to read that one. Wait, don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I know. But yeah, that's my favorite. I just love that series. I thought it was really unique as well. I'm always about like, give me something a little different with the fantasy stuff. You know, I think so many of them can be the same, but yeah, I think maybe we'll read a fantasy romance at some point.
I find it interesting that like fantasy romance and then fantasy with a romance plotline is so different. I find that really funny.
See, I don't really like fantasy unless there's a romance part in it.
Yeah,
like, it's too much for me. Like it hurts my brain. I'm like, I need there to be that relief of romance in there for me.
Yeah, you need more. It makes a lot of sense. Instead of just having the A plot line be like the fantasy quest or whatever, you need a B plot line. Right? You need the character dynamics. I totally get that. And then I think of like Lord of the Rings, and I'm just like, Where's the romance in that? And then I'm like, oh yeah, Sam and Frodo. There's the romance.
I knew I liked fantasy rom, not even Sam and Frodo, but like I was all about the what's his name?
Aragorn.
Like Aragorn and what's her name?
Arwen.
Thank you.
The only reason why I know, the only reason why I know her name,
get to those scenes.
yeah, the only reason why I know Arwen's name is because my 5th grade teacher was pregnant and she named her daughter Arwen because she loved the Lord of the Rings so much.
That's such a good name, though. Like it's a name that could pass if someone was so out of it.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I know her name. Like Sam, Frodo, Gandalf, Schmeagol, and Arwen, and that's it.
Yeah. Legolas.
Fucking book series so goddamn much. It hurts.
But yeah, so like I agree. Like I've definitely read fantasy books, but they usually only like them a lot if there's some kind of romance in them.
Yeah.
And
or YA romance.
Yeah, reading YA fantasy.
YA romance that doesn't have or YA fantasy that does not have romance in it. It's like thing.
Yeah.
And I get when people are annoyed by that, but like I would always read the review and it'd be like, I didn't like the romance in this book. I'm like, oh, let me go find that book, because I wanted the romance. In it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a standard now in every YA fantasy that there is some kind of romance. Because I get it, teenagers want to have love and find love and whatever, but also when that's all that's really selling your book,
you need to work a little better.
Yeah.
And some of them do feel way more forced. Like some of the romances in the YA fantasies are like they work and they feel like, like they make sense. And some have definitely felt more forced than others.
This book has the
I saw that in your vlog, Jen.
Yes.
Who's the
And I have heard only one person talk about it as a hate to love romance, and I was like,
"Ooh, you gotta get back to us on that."
Who's it by?
This is by Roseanne A. Brown, I believe.
I never heard of that one.
This is one that just came out last week. That the Black Lives Matter movement has been boosted like crazy, which is because this has been compared to Children of Blood and Bone, which is one of my favorite books of all time.
See, that book is so daunting to me, like Children of Blood and Bone.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. It's so easy to get yourself lost in that.
People told me, but I watched a lot of reading vlogs, and apparently a lot of reading vlogs that I've been watching recently, they read the sequel and they're like, it's not good. I'm like, ooh.
The sequel's not good. It's such a bridge book, and I hate it. I need to have I'm gonna do like a series on my channel at some point where I just sit in my big ass chair and talk about random stuff that bothers me in books, because books, I fucking can't with them. Like, give me a goddamn plot that can stand alone in a second book in a series, in a trilogy. Like, there are so many trilogies out there that the second book just has nothing in it.
According to Fury is the only one that I've seen where the second book is like top notch, amazing. Catching Fire is pretty good.
Catching Fire is mine. That is the only one. What other one? There was one recently that I was like, this was a good fucking sequel.
I think I agree though. Second book syndrome is a real thing, and whether it's fantasy or not half the time, but mostly with fantasy,
I don't like it. Give me this is gonna be so controversial. I'm so sorry, but like I've talked about it on my channel before. But the V.E. Schwab book series, The Dark Magic, the second
in those.
Well, like
one made me so mad.
I haven't read any V.E. Schwab, and I don't know if I will. Like, I don't know.
Got such beautiful prose, and she's a great
speaker. I just don't know. Yeah. Have you ever read The Shadow Between Us by Trisha Levenseller?
No, I want to read that though.
This one? Because this one I heard I like Trisha Levenseller. I liked the 2 pirate books.
Yeah, I read the pirate ones.
Yeah, those are super good. So I'm like, I already know I like her writing, and I heard there's a romance in it. So I was just wondering if anyone had read it, because I wanted to know.
Watched 2 people now read that book, because it's new, that one, right?
It came out a couple months ago.
2 people. Leora, I think her name. No, Leonie. There we go. I was like, one of the Leo girls on here. Leonie, she read it and she went in with such like being so excited because it's pitched as a dark romance fantasy.
Yeah.
Where like it's like the Darkling has like a romance thing, and she said that it fell so goddamn flat.
Man,
there's just there's nothing good about it.
Yeah, but I've also watched people who I'm subscribed to people who absolutely love it and absolutely are like 2 stars. No, it's either like either or.
Like that when they have like people are just like nothing happens. This is bullshit, and then people are like, "This is amazing." And I'm like,
I love when a book is
like people just like, I love this and I hate this. You know,
I love that are like completely like right and left polarizing.
I might see if my library has it because I feel like that's one I kind of want to see if I like it before I pay $40 for it. You know,
I have a few books like The Bone Crier's Moon is one of those because
dude, I love Bone Crier's Moon.
I know I'm going to enjoy it, but this is the kind of thing that like because I'm kind of tired of YA fantasy.
Yeah,
I'm really terrified that it's going to be another Serpent and Dove because like Serpent and Dove is like
I haven't read Serpent and Dove, but it's on my TV. Pretty soon I'm going to read it. So like,
I have it.
But it's so fun. Like
really, it's smart. It's just Bone Crier. I haven't read a lot of romance, like fantasy YA books, because I'm in like a stage now where like no fantasy YA book is like appealing to me at the moment. So I finally picked that one up, and it was like I've never read anything like that before. Like, my favorite character wasn't even in the couple. Like I didn't even know there's 3 point of views, not 2, not the couple girl. Her best friend is also a point of view. She became my favorite because she like grows. Like it's so amazing.
Cool.
In Book Version.
I was like,
I haven't read that one either. I did really like from this one though, from Blood and Ash, the Jennifer Armentrout one.
I want to read that too.
Yeah, this was good. I love Jennifer Armentrout. This one was an interesting combo of like fantasy, romance, and paranormal, if that makes any sense at all.
That was like Jennifer Armentrout wrote
She wrote the Lux series, which is like the alien ones. And then she wrote
White Hot Kiss, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it's like some with a hot kiss title.
Yeah, there's a kiss. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of went into this one not knowing like anything other than there was fantasy elements because I love her so much. And I would kind of recommend doing that, like not trying to look at reviews and stuff because
a lot of books I'm just gonna go into it.
I feel like sometimes I'm someone who wants to see some like what's it about, but in this case I'm glad I didn't because it kind of would have spoiled some things. That sometimes they give away way too much, either in the review or in the back of the book. Yep. And this one, I didn't know anything. He dropped it, like no one knew it was coming, and I picked it up, and it was so good. It was definitely a lot of romance, but like, dang, like I'm like dying for book 2.
Adult or YA?
I'd say it reads more adult.
YA writer, right?
She writes both.
Oh, really? Because I know like. Purely from Reagan from Proust Project, I just know that her like White Hot Kiss thing is like the most 2000s angst you can get. So
she writes really good angst. I love the Lux series from her. It's so nostalgic for me. I read that like so long ago, and it's like I just can't help smile when I think about that series because I remember like where I was when I was reading it, you know. But yeah, I'd say this one reads more like they're definitely more adults. I think she's like 18 or 19, like older teenage /20. And then he's a few years older than her.
Okay.
So I'd say it's definitely more adult content than in some of her YA books.
Okay.
So take that as you will.
I read, because she writes like literally every single genre, basically. Because I've read a free thriller romance by her, but it wasn't really
that was good.
And then her contemporary YA book, The Problem with Forever, is one of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. So good. It deals with like a mute main character. And like she ends up like meeting her foster brother at her first day of public school all over again. And like it's their romance. It's so good. But then her contemporary adult romance books, she writes under J. Lynn for those. And those are really good too. So
Yeah, I feel like she's written something in like every genre, like you said, and she's just great. And she had like 3 books come out this year. She just had Rage and Ruin come out. That I haven't read that.
Yeah, I haven't read that series yet because it's a spinoff of the White Hot Kiss book.
Yeah, it's a spinoff of that series, but I didn't read the first one. I need to read. I have it on my Kindle, but I haven't read it. Story of my life. But,
me too.
Well, is there anything else we want to say about this one?
I feel like we summed it up.
Guys, if you want a fluffy read to get yourself, I don't know, entertained, it was nice.
But there's also a lot of better books out there.
I mean, all the great historical romances to you.
I think it was promising for a new writer. I think it was.
Because her prose is really good. Like,
really good.
And her characters are solid as hell. So,
I just remembered something. Okay, one issue that I had about this book is that there were parts where one of them would like remember things in the past, like scenes that happened in the past, like, and it wasn't italicized, so I had no idea that what was going on was happening in the past.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? I was like,
I know what you mean, but I'm used to books not doing that.
See, I was just like,
yeah,
but then it was weird because then there were other parts, they were like later on in the book, there were certain scenes that were italicized that were taking place in the past. So I'm like,
oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like
the scenes with his dad were like all italicized from the past, but then like the first couple of chapters, they're like remembering scenes from when they were first like in love.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. I think that's a choice because if it's actually a scene, like a flashback scene where it's like you're experiencing it as it is happening, kind of like the rest of the book, it'll be italicized. But if it's somebody recalling that, it won't be. Because it's them in the present recalling.
I don't know why. That was so hard for me to read. I was like, wait, what time period are we in?
Oh my God. I was back in university. I was part of a writer's workshop with an author named David Bergen. And it was like a bunch of adults and then myself and my friend and like this asshole guy who was our friend at the time who were like 21 and we're just like, we're little. But like he got like the David Bergen, he got on a tangent about how like books shouldn't need like designated like titles across like chapters telling you what like day it is or what time period it is because people like as readers should be able to follow it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like,
I highly disagree.
This shit, David. Like,
David.
like if you don't have clear timelines, very clear designated timelines, if you're doing a timeline thing, people are going to lose their goddamn mind. Like, look what happened with
my mind.
Right? People weren't told at the beginning of The Witcher that it was 2 different timelines. People lost
that was so confusing for like the first 4 episodes.
Oh my God, I was so confused. And then like now when I go back, I'm like, this fucking show is brilliant because I
texted my brother like halfway through and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Why? And it's like 100 years before.
Oh my, it's like
that's the thing. Like, as readers, because David Bergen is a very literary writer. His one book that I've read is really, really good. It's like a complete slice of life that just breaks your heart. But like, readers need to be handed shit because we can't just expect them to be geniuses and to follow our line of thinking. Also, writers, if we can't make it clear enough, like especially when we go either from character to character, it's really fucking hard to give each character a voice that's very distinct and different.
Yeah.
Without it,
I think you're an amazing writer if you can do that. Like,
oh fuck,
goodness, yes.
They do that. I'm trying to write a double POV book right now, and it is so fucking hard that I'm just like, I'm gonna have to put Isaac and Rose at the top of each chapter, even for myself, because there was one chapter I was rereading it, and halfway through I switched from Rose's point of view to Isaac's, not even thinking, oh shit, oh no.
Yeah, no, I agree. As a reader, I want it either something at the top of the page or italicized or something. Like,
hand it to me on a plate.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, it's type of reader, maybe. I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely more of a like, I want to read this for pleasure.
Yeah.
If I were someone who wanted to dive into a literary fiction book that was like very intense and I wanted to learn a lot, maybe I wouldn't mind that.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm a different reader when it comes to classics. I'm a different reader when it comes to fiction, and I'm a different reader when it comes to fantasy and romance.
Like school books, I feel like I was more critical, you know, like I looked for different things in school because we were reading much more like literary type fiction.
You gotta teach some shit, right?
Yeah.
You can't be like, here, learn.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so it's cute. Just that's it. That's all our Oh yeah. Are we good with that one still for next time?
Yeah, because I bought it.
I'm so excited. I'm
so fucking excited for this one, which is bad because usually when I'm really excited for a book, it lets me down. But this one,
nothing but good thoughts about.
I have not heard a bad review.
And I am not going to be the first one. I'm just kidding. I will be.
I've seen, I think 1 or 2 that aren't 5 stars. I think it's because those people expected a more fluffy romance, so I'm expecting something that is a little bit harder hitting. Because the person who blurbed it is Josie Silver, who wrote One Day in December. Goddamn heart out. So I'm ready.
I'm excited to read this one like by the pool or something. Like I'm ready.
So basically, for those who watch this back, because literally no one's been watching this the entire time, which is fine because my channel's very small.
That's okay.
It's okay. Most of the time I watch it back anyway.
But like, this is a story from what I remember about 2 writers who are on deadline and who both have writer's block because of something going on in their lives. And they go on vacation, and one day they're talking to each other and they make it a game and they write each other's genres. And I'm so fucking ready for this shit. And they fall in love.
Yeah, I'm ready. Also, I love how I just now noticed it says a novel on her hat. I did not notice that. That's so
I know. Cute. This cover is probably one of my favorite covers of all time.
Yeah.
Like, look at that.
Also, her towel is the spine.
I know.
Oh, yeah. That's so cute.
Spine is one of my favorite book spines ever. It is so pretty.
Whoever designed this did like just so many details. So cute. Good job, whoever designed this cover.
Thank you, whoever you are. Good job. If you watch this eventually, good job.
I just went to a random like chapter and it was called The Olive Garden. So I'm into like yeah, I love when they have titles. Yeah.
This one's called Porch Furniture.
I like that.
Oh shit, chapter 2 is called The Funeral. Oh god.
Oh no. I did hear there were some heavier topics in this one. So just be warned if anyone reads it.
Like One Day in December, I think is my favorite quote unquote romance book. I don't think it's a romance book at all. I think it's something completely different. Like it ends like a romance book, like has a happy ending.
It's like a women's fiction.
To get there. I just read that book.
A lot of potholes, huh?
No.
I think it's gonna be so interesting because we haven't read a really like emotional romance book. We read Meet Cute, but we didn't anticipate it to be like that at all, and we didn't really read it all that much. So
because Meet Cute is very much marketed as a lighthearted romance.
Yeah.
And we haven't really, because there's been a lot of romances that make me like sob, and we haven't really read one yet.
We've avoided it like the plague.
Well, Chloe Brown, I think I might have cried a little bit in Chloe Brown.
That's my favorite.
We gotta read that shit. When does it come out?
23rd. June 23rd.
Month?
Yeah, like next week.
I'm so excited. Chloe Brown's my favorite book of the year so far. So
yeah.
You read it?
Get a Life, Chloe Brown, the first book.
Oh no, the other one.
What's it called? Take a Hit.
Danny Brown.
Yeah.
Can we read it for July?
We can read it for July if you want.
I don't know if I can wait that long, but I will. I'll just reread it.
How about we just all buddy read it together for fun?
Yeah.
I would be down with that because I want to read that book so bad. because
Yeah.
Charlie Hibbert has got some incredible.
Oh my gosh, y'all! Okay, so I'm reading a bunch of Talia Hibbert books, and I started her series. I started the first book in this series so long ago. I gotta pull it up. Because I read the third and final book in that companion romance series, and I didn't even know I started it, and the main character has my chronic illness.
I saw it.
I know. Here, I had no idea.
It's not awesome that she has it, but you know what I mean. It's nice for representation.
Well, also,
Yeah.
Talia Hibbert has like fibromyalgia, like Chloe does in Get a Life, Chloe Brown. So I feel like she just knows the importance of incorporating chronic illnesses into books.
I saw that she was reading that. The first book in that series, does the character, because I was looking at reading, I think I just actually put it on my Audible Escape, but does she have autism?
She has autism, yes.
Okay. She's really great at writing like, real people.
Yes, and then the girl from the second book, I believe she's bisexual. The main character in the third book with like my chronic illness, he's demisexual. Like it's just like amazing diversity in here.
And she herself writes Black characters too, right?
Yeah. So this was the first book in the series, A Girl Like Her.
That's the one I just downloaded.
Yes, that was really fun. But I feel like they keep just getting better because then the one that has like my chronic illness, it's also an age gap romance with the older woman.
Ooh. Oh, these covers are really pretty too.
Yeah, that kind of guy. I was, Talia Hibbert's just amazing. I want to read all of her backlist.
She's got such good prose. Like her storytelling is so good.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Chloe Brown was just like I would never read it. Yeah. My friend the other day who like doesn't like smut was like, "Can you recommend me romance books with no smut?" And I was like, "Sure." And like
she's gonna have a surprise.
I was like, "Chloe Brown, there's smut, but it's really fucking good."
It's good.
Yeah.
And then I'm so excited. On Honeymooners, it's a fade to black smut in On Honeymooners.
Yeah.
I kind of like.
I think it works for certain books. I'm not sitting here saying every book has to have it. I just think it feels right or it feels wrong. Like there are some books you want it. You feel like there's so much tension. You don't want it fade to black. And then there are other books like I thought it worked in the On Honeymooners for me.
It made. I agree. The only book that I think I remember reading about fade to black, and I was like, I didn't like. I remember waiting for Tom Hanks. I was like, I felt like it didn't like it needed something more. You know what I mean? I like waiting for Tom Hanks
because that book is so fluffy. Like that book is like literally, I would give that to like a 13, 14-year-old to read.
Yeah,
it's so fluffy. Like it is the cutest. I want to see that on screen romance. I am so excited for the next one to come out.
That comes out soon too, doesn't it? The second one.
Yes.
The thing is, I'm so nervous about that because I'm following people who have like already read early copies and they were like, it was not good. It's like,
well, a lot of people didn't love the first one
though.
See, that's what I'm like, well, maybe I'll like it. But then people are saying they really loved the first book and they read the second one and it was like, I didn't like it. So I'm nervous.
I'm still reading it. I'm so very excited.
No, I'm excited too.
I just like the fact that we know the two characters from the previous book and they know each other. I'm so ready for a friend to like a
It's a Laura and Luke.
I'm so ready.
Yeah. There's a lot of books coming out like in the next couple weeks / month.
Yeah.
Not even that many, but a lot of sequels, I feel like.
Yeah.
To like books that we've read.
That's true. Or like companions at least, right? Because
not companions. Because none of them you have to read the first book, but
right.
It's like more sense. I don't think you have to read Chloe Brown, but I would highly recommend
Chloe Brown.
It's Chloe Brown.
Yeah. But yep. I'm excited to read this.
This has such a beautiful aesthetic too. It's just so yellow and beautiful.
I know, it's funny. I took a picture of this at my apartment today for like Bookstagram, but then I'm like, I'm gonna have to just retake another one like at the pool or something because it just does not justify it in here.
Yes.
Like an outside picture.
This is by Josie Silver, Sally Thorne, Jasmine Guillory, and Christina Lauren.
Wow.
All great authors.
I think I've read. I haven't. The only one I haven't read is I actually haven't read Jasmine Guillory. I never read The Wedding Date.
That's same for me.
I have it on my shelves.
I have it. I just haven't read it yet, but I love the other ones.
Yeah, Well Played also comes out soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Tools of Engagement, the third book in the Fixer Up series, comes out.
Oh my God. Didn't her second one just come out?
That's so fast.
Releasing books like crazy. Also, the third book in the romance book club comes out.
That's fast too. That one just came out.
Look at this cover though for it. There's a cat on it.
Oh.
Oh,
I need to read that series. I haven't even read the first book.
The first book's okay. I'm in the minority where I didn't think it was amazing.
See, to me, the plot just didn't scream read me. So I felt like, I don't know.
Because it's about men. I think that's why. I'm just I don't want to read about men.
Get away from them. I'm just kidding.
Look, the last book I'm going to talk about that I want to read. Have y'all seen this book?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was way too excited. But yes.
Plus size girl on the cover.
I was like, heck yes. Thank you.
Fandom.
Her first book, not first book, the one she had, Olivia. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah. Who's dying?
My apartment's near the pool.
Oh, okay.
So I think those are our youth of America. Coming back from the pool.
Youths.
But Olivia Date's her first book, I think, is coming out soonish, right? Is that right?
This one. I want to read this one. You guys see that?
Oh, probably. I haven't seen that one.
That cover around.
I like that cover though. Happily.
Elise Bryant. She's so goddamn cute, and it sounds perfect. It sounds exactly what I want. It's a YA, so it's 16-year-old Tessa Johnson has never felt like the protagonist in her own life, and she's never seen herself reflected in the pages of the romance novels she loves. The only place she's a true leading lady is in her own writing. In the swoony love stories she shares only with Caroline, her best friend and #1 devoted reader. When Tessa is accepted into the creative writing program of a prestigious art school, she's excited to finally let her story shine. But when she goes to her first workshop, her words are just gone. Oh, that would be
That sounds really cute.
Yeah.
That's a perfect book for you, Jen, because it incorporates writing and stuff.
I love books about writing. I love books about books.
That's why this is going to be so exciting to read Beach Read.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Jen, there's this one book that I haven't read, but I thought of you because I know you like that. So have you read, I think you might have read it, Avery, the one by Karina Halley called Smut.
I haven't read that one. I've read Karina Halley's books though before.
Yeah, so it's a book. I think I started it, but it was really funny because it was I think she's in college and they're trying to they have to do a project where they have to write a steamy romance. It's a guy and a girl who have to get together and write the book. So I don't know. It sounded pretty cute. Yeah. I love Karina Halley though. Her book story is great.
Yeah.
All right.
I've heard mixed things about her newest one though.
You what?
I've heard mixed things about the newest one by her though.
I tried one of her, not the most recent, but the one before that, and I didn't like it. I have to admit, I didn't finish it.
And I loved A Nordic King, so I still have to read the second book in that series. I read the first one and I didn't really love it.
I thought The Nordic King was the best one in that series, in my opinion. But the second one was cute too, though, because he was kind of your black sheep of the family. So I thought that series just got better. So it was 1 was okay, 2 was really good, and 3 was great.
Amazing. I just want to read more nanny romances. I love nanny romances.
I'm so excited to finish reading or really read Brave. Is that how you say it? We decided.
Brave, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one because and sometimes nanny romance, I've read a couple and they can be it's hard to get that right without that
fetishized
being weird. You know what I mean? I don't know, especially the girls younger.
The nanny thing, that's a porn thing, right? When it's a young girl, a babysitter. That's what it is, babysitter. It's the baby thing that's made it into porn. So
oh gosh,
it's fetishized. So if you do that in a book, it has to be done right.
I feel it's they worked in A Nordic King, I thought, and then it worked in a couple other books.
Yeah. In A Nordic King, they became, because he didn't want her as the nanny because he was so attracted to her. But then his girls like met her at the interview and fell in love with her, and he's like, well, I want what's best for my girls, and he like tried so hard to like not be with her at all, and then they became like friends, and then it's so sweet. I also read it's not a nanny romance, but it feels like it. Ashley, you read it, Sweet Temptation.
I really liked that one.
That was good. It was like they got married, like she was like, it was an arranged marriage kind of thing, like mob boss arranged marriage thing, and like she acted like the nanny, but like it was like their mom or whatever, like their new mom. Like it was so good.
Yeah, that one took me by surprise because that author is really well known for writing like mafia type romances, and that's not usually my thing. Although I'm kind of tempted to read the rest of the series now that I've read that one because I know it's like a spinoff. But that was just so cute. That book was so cute. That's what I kind of want to reread that one. But yeah, that one worked for me too. But I was trying to find. Do you guys see that one book going around on? I think it's on Bookstagram this week. Like, you know, where you see a book, you want to read it, and you forgot to add it to your stinking Goodreads, and now I can find it.
On everything.
It was like this. It's spelled single, like the single something. It's coming out like next year. It sounded so funny. It's like this girl who like is like proud of being single, and she's like, I don't need no man, and so she goes to like books her own vacation to this like B&B, and then she meets this dude who's like, I don't need no woman, and he has like a daughter. She's like 5, and I don't know. It sounded so cute, and now
it sounds familiar. I don't remember the book.
If anyone knows who's watching this, add it to Jen's comments so I can find.
I opened up Beatree, just flipping through it, and I saw the word "sex dungeon," and I was like, "What?" And there's a sentence. It's like it's like literally 2 pages in. It's like she's on a phone call and this person goes, "Is there a sex dungeon?" I am very ready for this book.
Someone would ask if they're not a romance reader to like a family member who's writing a romance and be like, "Oh, that's great, honey. So is there a sex dungeon?"
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's when you look them dead in the eye and you go, "Yes."
Yeah.
And you just keep going. Let them assume what they want.
Oh, that's so funny.
I love when my parents are like, "What are you writing about?" And I'm like, "I never want to tell you because you're not going to get it."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "You're just going to have to wait to read it one day," because I know neither of them will ever read anything I write because they don't read
at all.
Like,
I mean, I know they can read, but you know what I mean.
Mom has read in the past. I think Mom has read 1 book this year, and that was she's read 2. And it was for book club because her friends like picked The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, not realizing that it was a fucking sequel. So she had to read The Handmaid's Tale and The Testaments for it.
If you're trying to get someone into reading, I just would not recommend The Handmaid's Tale.
No, Mom hates Margaret Atwood's writing. She's like, it's so abrasive and grating, and I'm like, oh dear, Mom. But yeah, so they will probably never ever read anything I write because that's just who they are.
Yeah.
That's how my family is.
To get through a book.
Reads.
My mom reads. My mom's a big reader, so that's where I like got my reading from. My dad does not read. He reads sometimes, but he reads like, I love my dad, but he reads so slow. Like
not a year to finish this thing.
And I'm like, wow.
He reads like 2 pages and falls asleep.
Yeah, exactly. My mom reads though.
Yeah. If I'm reading a book for more than a week, I'm like, something is wrong with this book. Like, you know?
Yeah. If I'm like actively picking it up to read it and it takes me longer than a week, I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, that's I'm a little worried about Craves over here.
The only book that is taking me longer than a week this year is Crescent City. That's just because it's
big.
Oh yeah, the big books I give a pass. Like when I read Game of Thrones, I'm like, this is gonna take me a month. I know it. Or Way of Kings because it's over 1,000 pages. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna finish that in 2 days. Like that's new. But if it's like a normal like this size book or a typical YA fantasy and it takes me longer than a week, I'm like angry at it.
Yeah. I just start forgetting things. Like
I have terrible book retention memory.
I'm like, I don't know. Like I used to be really big on like 1 or 2 sittings. And I will say it takes me a little longer now just because sometimes I don't like doing that because then I forget it so fast. Sometimes if I read it like
Yeah.
if I read it in like 1 sitting, sometimes I feel a little bit like it just walks me through.
But that's why I don't remember books as well as I used to. Because when I was little, I could rattle off details of books. My book retention memory was so good. And now I think it's because I read so fast. I don't read fast. It's just sometimes I can read a book in a day.
Yeah.
Some weekends I read 3 books in 3 days. That's just how it is. And then sometimes
it's also because we're reading more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have never read. I've already read 93 books this year. That has never happened before.
Dang.
I thought I was reading a lot with 65.
I haven't even read 65 at all this year. I've been slow. I don't know what's wrong with me this year. I keep getting into like slumpiness, like
quarantine, my dear. That's all it is.
It's I don't know. I mean, what I'll do is I'll read like 3 in a row and then I won't read anything for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then I'll read like 2 or 3 in a row. I won't read anything for a week.
See, there's
mine too.
I just read short. I just listen to a lot of audiobooks, so that's why.
Yeah. See, I used to listen to more of those because I had like a commute.
Yeah.
But I don't have a commute, so
I don't have a commute.
I go on walks now.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I have gained a new appreciation for Jane Austen's characters going for walks all the time.
I get turning off the garden now.
Yeah. Because like, what the hell else are we gonna do? Oh my god. But just like I get irrationally irritated with a book if it takes me a long time to read. Because I know like a YA book, I should be able to polish it off in like 2 days because most of the YA books that I've read have gone like that. And if I can't, like there was, I think Crown of Feathers was one of them when I read that by Nikki Papareto. I read it whilst I was listening to it on the audiobook when I was playing Animal Crossing before I got my Switch. And it was on like the TV, the original Animal Crossing game. And I would listen for like 3 or 4 hours at a time. And I'm like, how am I not done this yet? Because I would listen to it on double speed. And I'm like, what's happening? Why is it taking me so long? It took me like 3 weeks to get through it. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Usually if it takes me longer than like 5 days to a week, that's when I start, I'll get in a different format. I either get on audiobook or I'll get it on ebook, like with a physical book, because that usually works. Like for me.
I don't know, man. Like I read it in 20 days.
Bless you.
No, thank you.
Like, I read fucking Way of Kings in like a month. Why is it taking me 3 weeks to get through a YA fantasy? Like it's one of those things.
Yeah. Like, going on, yeah.
It was very good. I will tell you that. I don't know why the fuck I picked it up one day, but I was like, I'm going to do the thing that I never wanted to do and read a scary book because I'm such a scaredy cat. I don't like Stephen King. I don't want to read books where I'm scared, especially with goddamn clowns. It was
and balloons.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a terrified person. I've never read a horror book, but like even I like romantic suspense, but I have to be like picky with which ones I pick because I tend to like the more psychological ones, like, you know, like in the mind of the like person, but that typically leads to serial killers and then I'm really scared. So
I think now, like when I was reading it, there's just so much going on in it.
Yeah.
That's so historical, like information, and there's so much. Like honestly, Holmes Skillet could have like ripped out about 600 years and still had the same story, but it wasn't scary. By the end of it, it was a fantastical type of thing. I was like, "What's happening?"
Did you watch the movie?
No, I will never watch a horror movie.
Because I heard that was terrifying, like really pretty scary. I'm like,
Stranger Things is the scariest shit I've ever
Things.
I've never seen it because I thought it was going to be too scary for me.
No, it's not that scary. I'm a huge scaredy cat.
Okay, maybe that's my next one.
Watch it, Ashley.
I know.
Watch party on like Netflix, and then we'll get Ashley's live reactions.
Yeah, we can do that.
Season 1. I can't do it. I love the show so much. I love it with all my heart. But season 1, those children are babies, and I can't do it.
I'll report back. I'll have to watch it. I've been binging a lot of shows recently, so
good. I will say the first episode, I was watching it and I was freaked the fuck out because I was like, "What am I getting myself into?" And it's just there's like one jump scare.
Okay. I'll watch it in daylight hours.
Yeah, watch it in the morning.
It's like you're watching Will, who is on my sweater, ride home from playing Dungeons and Dragons with his friends. He's on his bike and he goes down his street and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then there's a fucking monster that just appears in the middle of the goddamn road and he's like, "Ah!" And he like veers off the road. And it's at like 10 o'clock at night, so it's dark. That's the jump scare that got me. I was like,
that's probably like one of the scariest things in the whole entire show, you know?
In the first like 10 minutes, and then the rest of it's fine. I will say Barb, her storyline was a little bit freaky for me.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit gross in the Upside Down because of like the oozy.
It's like slimy.
Yeah. But it's not scary.
It's not like scary. I get nightmares so easily. I did not get one nightmare. Show.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like that person that if I watch something scary, I have to sleep with like the lamp on because I start
if I'm in a movie theater for a movie that's like totally normal and like they have a preview for a horror movie coming up, I have to look away.
Yeah, and I also think in my head, why are you showing this to me when I'm here to see like?
Oh yeah, I'm like, no. I don't want to see
the movie theaters to open again. Mine are still closed. I know some of them are open because I know they are opening some places, but like the one near me is still closed. Sad.
It's still closed here.
I'm also that person who loves watching real life paranormal like chasers. Like, give me BuzzFeed Unsolved, Supernatural.
I used to watch the like Ghost Chaser.
Yeah.
Then I would inevitably watch like 2 or 3 and then get too scared and have to turn them off.
Oh my god! I go through phases. There's sometimes where like one day, like I'm gonna watch all the YouTube ghost hunter shit, and then I get terrified.
I really think it's when you watch it though, because like if I watch it in the day, I usually have enough time to like think about other stuff before bed. But if I'm sitting out here watching it, it's dark, and then I go to bed like pretty soon after.
I have to watch a cartoon before I go to bed. Yeah. But like the thing is, in my bathroom, every night I am like brushing my teeth, and I have to lean to one side of my mirror because it's my eyesight. I know it is. But because if I stand in the dead center of my mirror, over my left shoulder, I see a face of a woman.
That is so scary, Jen. Why are you telling me this?
I know it's my eyes because it's the same goddamn thing every fucking night. And I turn around and it's my eyes. It's not a ghost. It's my eyes. Like I know
it is a ghost.
But isn't it amazing? Like I'm a scaredy cat, and I won't. It's so amazing that your brain can like make you think, isn't it? Like I'm a rational person typically speaking, but if I go on like a ghost tour or watch something scary, somehow my perfectly normal house turns into like a hellscape.
Oh yeah. My house, because it's new, it's sort of new. It's like 5 years old, but like it creaks and cracks and whatever. But the worst thing that has happened to me in this house, besides like I've done it since I was a little kid. I hear my name called by my mom a lot. Just if I'm listening to music, I hear Jen like over the music, and she hasn't called me just because it's in my head. Like it's my ears in my head doing that to me. I do that when I'm vacuuming too. I can hear people talking to me, and I'm like, "There's nobody in my house."
No.
But in my library down there, I was at the printer getting shit out of the printer, and I was not facing any of my bookshelves because we had the printer on the other wall at one point. And behind me, you know the sound of like when you put a book on a shelf and go in, like sounded like that.
That
And I was
crazy.
Blanket. No.
The good news is if you have a ghost, they like to read.
Ran. I don't have a ghost in my house.
No.
My friend does. She has a ghost in her house. And she told me the story after I had gone to her house a few times. And her mom once asked me, she's like, "Well, do you want to stay over? It's like 11:30. Like, you don't have to drive home," because I have to drive out of the city to get home. And I was like, "No, I'm fine." It's like there's something fucking weird about her house. And then she tells me later that they have a ghost named Jed in their house. And she tells me the stories of him. And I'm just like, I knew there was something fucking wrong with your house, because like her house is older, like it's a little bit more Victorian-y style, but it's not Victorian era. Like it's older, and got a lot of like hallways.
Okay.
And there's one hallway that goes like that leads to like the door that goes outside and like the laundry room and whatever, and the bathroom, the one bathroom that we use at her house. And every time I go in that hallway when it's dark out, I'm like, there's somebody watching me. Like I can feel it. I hate it so much.
So many people like scary stuff though. Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
I don't understand. Like you even like I think it's not that I wouldn't, but like there's so many guys too who like scary stuff, and you'll go like on a date or something and be like, "So do you like scary stuff?" I'm like, "No, I'm not lying about this. If that's a deal breaker right now, like I'm sorry."
I will not go into
there was one time a guy asked me, he was like, "So you want to watch a scary movie together?" And I was like, "No, you don't understand. No." Like, no. He's like, "Oh, come on."
Always gonna be
like, "No, I'm not watching one." He's like, "Don't worry, I'll cover your eyes at the scary parts. You can come." Like, did you? No. No. This is
not that I'm
cuddle up with you.
I'm not and want to like you protect me. I'm flat out not gonna watch this.
Yeah, I'm like, the answer is still no.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I think it's adrenaline. People like the adrenaline that it gives you. People say that it feels really good when you get scared like that, like your heart's racing. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It feels like you're having a heart attack. Why?
Well, the same thing is those like, you know, like we in the States here we have the what's it called? What do they do at Universal? The Halloween Horror Nights. At Universal.
I haven't gone to Disney.
I've never been, clearly. But a lot of my friends in high school would go, or like people I knew, like it was a big thing to go to Halloween Horror Nights. And it's basically this whole thing of a theme park filled with people jumping out at you and terrorizing you the entire night, but they couldn't touch you.
No.
That's what they have those scary Halloween houses.
Yeah.
When I was younger, we had at our zoo here, which is kind of a lame zoo, but like it's fine. It's fine. It's a zoo. We had what we called Boo at the Zoo on Halloween, and it was catered to kids, but that shit was really fucking scary.
I'm telling you.
Like it was set up so that like at night you could go to Boo at the Zoo and you could dress up in costume and whatever.
Yeah.
We went once when I was like 8 and I cried the whole time. And then we went again when I was like 9, 10. And same thing. I was like, I'm fine. This is fine. I'm fine. And like one asshole guy and I'm like bad, like really like intense makeup. And like he was a cast member and like a chainsaw came up to me. And like as soon as he like scared the shit out of me, obviously, but I just instantly broke down. And like when a kid breaks down like that, you back the fuck off. He did not. He he thought I was because I'm tall, right? Always have been. People think I'm older than I am.
Yeah.
Because of that. And I was like, I'm literally gonna have
like 10.
fucking zoo right now. Get away. It was terrible. I hate that shit. It's
we need scary stuff.
I don't like it.
No. I do want to read some more like suspense stuff though. Like
I wish I could get into thrillers, but then like I read 8 Perfect Murders recently, which was a thriller basically made for me because it was a guy who owned a fucking crime bookstore, and like he had written a blog post like that said the 8 perfect murders in literature, and somebody was emulating these murders. I'm like, this is a perfect goddamn book for me, and it was so disappointing. It was so bad.
Yeah. I also think like a lot of people read like cozy mysteries, and I'm like, that sounds like perfect for me.
I love Agatha Christie. Oh,
yeah, I haven't read any book
I'm into.
I have a couple like newer like cozy mystery type things, like one, you know, the ones with like the cutesy names.
Yeah.
I have one I picked up because I'm pretty sure it has cats in a bookshop.
They have cats, yeah.
Is it part of that?
I'll pick up this
one. There's like a series of cozy mysteries that it's cats. It's always the cat and da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I always love the ones that like the holidays with like the food in the title, like the gingerbread cookie murder, or like I'm pretty sure that's an actual title.
It most definitely is, yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. That vibe. It's the same vibe as Knives Out. I haven't seen that movie.
I loved Knives Out. I just watched it last weekend.
Like that new book that just came out, The Guest List. I want to read it, even though it's getting pretty like not great reviews.
Yeah.
It's the vibe. It's the people stuck on an island getting murdered, and they don't know who is murdering.
You should watch Mara's channel from Books Like Whoa if you don't, because she loves Agatha Christie, and I think one of her favorites is like closed house mysteries, like where they're all stuck in a house or something. So you should watch her channel for some rec.
Why I like that so much.
Yeah. It's like Clue. I love Clue.
Yes. Oh my god. That board game is my favorite board game.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the movie for Clue?
Yes, no. I'm obsessed with the movie.
Yeah. If you like that, you should watch Knives Out, Avery.
I wanted to, but I never got to go to the theater for it.
I thought it. I think I rented it or something. I don't remember, but
yeah, I'm not because the quality when I wanted to go see Emma. I wanted to see Emma so bad.
Have you not seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it. I heard it had really mixed reviews, so I wasn't sure if I'd like it.
Oh my god, that new Emma movie is my favorite Jane Austen movie. Yeah.
Oh, I really want to watch it now because I've heard like a friend of a friend kind of thing. Like
you read Emma?
I
read Emma
years ago.
Okay.
It's been a long
time. I read it my senior year of high school.
I'm actually like shocked at how good of an adaptation it is to the book.
Okay.
I haven't read it in like a year and a bit, so like as I said, book retention memory not great. But it is so fucking funny. And aesthetic is perfect. And there's like one dramatic scene in it, and it's like it gets broken by something, and it just like my friends and I went to go see it, and my friend Sophie and Sarah was away, but Sophie and Sarah and I were in a Jane Austen class together in university. And Emma with our prof then, and our other friend Yeleni, she hasn't read Emma, but she really wants to, and she likes Jane Austen, same vibe. And so we went to go see it, and we were cackling in the theater the whole time. So good. And Emma, I can't remember her name. She does such a good job. Oh, it's so good.
I'm gonna have to rent it. I had heard kind of mixed things, so I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to see this, but now that they got like a good review,
I loved it. I might be the one person who doesn't like have a proper opinion because it's not my favorite thing. I watched it yesterday. I pirated it because I'm terrible, but I watched it. Then I watched Sense and Sensibility, and I just had like laughing super hard and then just crying.
Oh god, I know. I just started paying for Hulu again because I wanted to watch something that was only on Hulu, and there are so many good movies on there. I'm like,
I never had Hulu. It's Netflix and Amazon Prime that we have in this household.
Yeah.
I had to stop paying for Hulu because I wasn't watching anything on Hulu.
I had canceled it for like a year, but I really wanted to watch a couple. What was I watching? I was watching Superstore, which is so funny.
Oh, we were talking about Superstore.
Oh my god, it was cracking me up so bad. If you need like a lighthearted laugh, I highly recommend it. It's like a half-hour comedy about these people that work in a superstore, basically like a Walmart. Do you guys have Walmarts?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's basically like Walmart, but not Walmart. And it's just
we also have a store called Superstore here.
Oh.
No.
This one's called, I think the store in the show is called Cloud 9. Is this the store? And I'm telling you, like, I am not usually one for comedies. Like, I usually go the drama route, but like, it's so funny. But I paid for that because I got that with Disney Plus because you can get like the package. So I really wanted to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Caribbean or Caribbean, whatever. They were my life as a kid. Like my OTP as a kid was Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom's characters. Like,
yes,
OTP for life.
They still are. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
so I grew up watching those movies and absolutely loving them. Y'all have seen all of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen like the 3 first ones?
I've seen the good ones. Yes.
3 first ones. Okay, so you know how like they end up splitting, like they can't be together, right?
Yeah.
So
Tragic.
like something happens at the end of one of the newer movies when I'm in the theater and I'm watching it with like 4 of my friends. I'm sobbing because something is happening that I've been waiting for since I was literally 12 years old. I'm sobbing and everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong?
So attached to these
Cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. I didn't like, I think it was the 4th one with the
fourth
mermaid.
one is like, what the heck?
I didn't like that one, but then
they're just kind of terrible.
they
They
should
should stop after is it Dead Man's Chest, the 3rd one?
Yeah.
No, it's World.
No.
Something.
Into the world, tides the world, something in
Where
the world.
Get Jack from some fucking where.
Yeah.
And then that's the one that ends with
We're in like Asia.
being separated for 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That one. Should have ended with that.
I mean, I will say the one that was the last one, I thought was pretty good, and I thought it was much more similar to the original 3.
Yeah.
Like
Number
tone.
4 should just be erased from history.
So I would personally just skip to whatever the last one was. I just
Watch the newest one, Jen, because the end is so worth it. Like the end is
Okay.
12-year-old me is literally happy as a clam because that ending.
That's the best. Anyway,
Yeah.
we should probably end this live stream.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching, even though nobody watched for the entirety of the live. But if you watch this afterwards, thank you for sticking with us.
Well, it's also Saturday night, so people maybe have plans. But I don't know, it's quarantine.
Yes, join us. We're going to be on Avery's channel for Beach Read.
Whoop, whoop.
Dirty. Okay, bye.
Bye.